Welcome to Japanatron.
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 Japanatron. Hello and welcome to Japanatron. My name is Dave Pavlina, and Japanatron is a podcast all about life in Japan and Japanese culture. Today's topic, we're going to be talking about heavenly Japanese flavors. These are flavors and foods that I associate strongly with Japan. These are things I did not know about or had never eaten when I was in America. Let me introduce my guest, a dear friend, Pavi. He's going to be helping us out, and we're going to see how this goes. If guests are something that you guys want to see or not.
Fuck you, Dave.
Yeah, let us know. What do you think of this motherfucker? Also, one quick note. When I go through this list, these might be foods and flavors you have in your home country. I have no idea. I'm a very asshole American, so I have no idea about any other countries. So please don't get angry about this. Like say, hey, fuck you, we have that in our country as well. So just calm down. It's very easy to get angry on the internet. Yeah. Okay, so one other note before we begin is I called this topic Heavenly Japanese Flavors. These are flavors that I consider awesome, that I consider heavenly, the best Japanese flavors. This list is not comprehensive at all. You may have your favorites. These are my favorites. This is not a comprehensive list of all the Japanese flavors.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate that you call it heavenly Japanese flavors because in Japan, flavors are they're almost sacred, aren't they? It's such a deeply embedded part of the culture.
Totally. This is definitely a culture of foodies. You see all the Japanese TV shows with oishi, umai. They're always eating food on TV. Yes, they take food very, very seriously here.
The religion of food.
Religion, yes. Yeah. First flavor, you ready?
Sacred to the profane, let's go.
Sacred flavor.
Actually, profane flavors.
Profane flavors, profanity.
Profanity here, which some people might think is really interesting. Can we do blatant commercial promotion here? I actually don't want to promote this stuff.
Pepsi Pink.
This is Pepsi Pink. This is profane. This is not a heavenly flavor.
This is
whatsoever.
not what I would consider heavenly.
No, this is actually a bullshit product.
I'm insulted by this.
I was insulted because it's Pepsi Pink, and you just think, I mean, Coca-Cola, they have their lemon cola and their cherry cola and all those things. So I thought this might be a strawberry thing, but it's actually strawberry and milk flavor, and it's supposedly strawberry and milk Pepsi, but they're no fucking Pepsi at all.
What a way to get started, soda, man. Right? You've ruined my podcast.
This is profanity. And do you want one more?
And you drank it.
I drank it. Yeah, you have to try these things. You
know,
life, we have this one opportunity to try and experience as much as we can. This is the pinnacle.
What is that?
So I'm going in on a high. This is chocolate water. Now, this is only in Japan where they think of such a fucking ridiculous thing as this. Chocolate sparkling water.
Chocolate sparkling.
Yeah. And this was absolutely unsensational, even though I thought it might be.
He's taken over my podcast.
The podcast here, dominating. But they had the picture of the chunks of chocolate on the...
Were there chunks of chocolate in the water?
No, and it actually says here that it's just an illustration.
Just an image.
Yeah, in case people thought you get water with fucking chunks of
chocolate water
floating around. But as an interesting concept, I think
the concept is interesting, but the color brown and water,
and it was actually clear as well. So
clear, yet chocolate
flavor. So it was quite bizarre. So what we're going to do today, I imagine, is we're going to go from these ridiculous, bizarre things, which are kind of compelling to buy and try, but we're now going to go to things which are actually worth.
My list is a bit more traditional.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe not as exciting. Well, let's see. Okay.
Okay.
You done?
Yeah. I'm done. I'll shut the fuck up from now on.
This is not a democracy. Now, you're just supposed to sit there and look pretty. You're not supposed to say anything. That was the deal. Remember, we talked about this. Okay, item number one, flavor number one is shoyu, also known as soy sauce. Now, I don't really have much to say about this one, other than I believe it's the Japanese version of table salt. Is it not? It's everywhere. Yes, fish. Pretty much everything all the fish is salted with soy sauce, right? You dip it in the soy sauce. And it's also interesting to note that there are rules associated with soy sauce. Sometimes I have performed the Western abomination of putting soy sauce on white rice.
Oh, right.
And the Japanese people go, what are you doing? It's good, man.
Well, yeah, but I think it's good if you mix it with the food you're putting on the rice first. So if you get your raw egg, you whip up your raw egg, and then you put a bit of soy sauce in that, and then put on your rice. I think that's acceptable.
Fair enough. It
you
also
won't be making the cultural faux pas.
The faux pas.
No.
Also, it makes the rice impossible to eat with chopsticks at that point. It's pretty much
It's
like
a battle,
soupy.
isn't it?
Yeah, you need like to ask. You need to do the walk of shame and ask the server or whatever for a spoon. Yeah, I just dumped soy sauce over my white rice, so I need to eat that with a spoon now. Mm-hmm. And they're like pointing, like
That's the guy.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to note about soy sauce?
I think one of the good things about shoyu, and the surprising things, is in England, you buy shoyu, there's probably 2 or 3 brands to choose from. Here, there's fucking shelves full of different soy sauces, right?
And I'm left, like, what is the difference?
Well, there are good and bad soy sauces. I mean, there's different shaped containers. You get your traditional bottle.
It's like the cheap one and
the cheap one, the expensive one. You don't have corked soy sauce, but you do have those squeezy plastic packs which have a spout built in, and you tear the corner off, and as you squeeze the pack, it kind of pours out.
Yeah. And that's a recent thing I've noticed is they have those specially designed high-tech bottles that will just put enough for that piece of sushi.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes when, the old traditional bottle, I want to call it, it's very easy to put too much on too quickly. And they have that like squeeze bottle that just does the drips of just one by one.
It's very clever. There's somebody who's been probably paid a lot to develop that.
Yeah, it's just sad though that someone is spending their entire career studying the perfect amount of soy sauce to put on one piece of sushi.
In one way, it's
versus
really sad.
spending their time curing cancer.
True. But I think it's really just quite a fantastic thing that somebody would dedicate their life to that, because it shows this Japanese approach to perfection in everything they do.
That is true. So they take soy sauce very seriously here.
Yep. And it's free. You can get your free soy sauce at the supermarket.
That's true.
So you never have to pay for the stuff if you.
It comes with the packs, right?
That's
you can
right.
keep those. Yeah, that's a good point. They do take it very seriously, and I think it's brewed, isn't it? I mean, there's some kind of brewing.
Well, I didn't do my research.
Neither did I. I'm
think
way
you
too
should.
lazy
You
to
should
research
do
this
the
stuff. But so soy sauce, Japanese version of table salt. It is. I consider it heavenly because salt is great. I mean, horrible for your health.
I must say, maybe I do.
Not good for the blood pressure, but
it's probably a little bit sacrilegious.
human body does like the salt.
I tend to put it in other things. I mix it with other condiments. So I'll be making a vegetable soup, and I'll put some soy sauce as well as other flavors in there. So I don't usually have that kind of pure perfection of shoyu on its own.
That's a good point, but also on the flip side, Japan taught me that you can put soy sauce on stuff that I would never have paired with. I always associated soy sauce with traditional Japanese cooking. You put it on sushi, you dip your sashimi in it. But like a beef steak, and you put soy sauce on that, oh man, that's heaven. That's heavenly. Instead of A1 steak sauce, Americans, try soy sauce instead on your steak. Osusume desu. My recommendation. Next is yuzu. Yuzu is a citrus fruit. Okay, it's kind of between a lemon, a lime, and an orange, somewhere around there, like those other citrus fruits. It's one of the citrus fruits I didn't even know existed until I moved to Japan.
There's so many fucking citrus fruits in Japan, aren't
Yeah, I know. They're really into this.
Yeah.
We have a few others on the list. So yuzu, I also associate with a sauce that I consider heavenly, ponzu. The zoo of ponzu is, I think, the zoo of yuzu, whatever.
Yeah. Nothing to do with animals.
Right, and it's a citrusy kind of... it's soy sauce-like, but it's got this citrus undertone to it that's lighter than soy sauce and less salty, and it is heavenly. I love yuzu, and ponzu specifically.
Right. Okay. I've never really been a lover of yuzu. It's one of those things that, just like many foods, it's there, but I wouldn't make a special trip to the supermarket if I'd run out of the stuff.
Okay. What about ponzu? Because ponzu, I can just swig it out of the bottle.
Ponzu,
just take shot glass of it.
Ponzu is one of those things. There's a number of Japanese. Let's go off on a slight tangent here. There's so many ingredients in Japanese cooking that I don't know how to use. Things like mirin, for example. How the fuck do you use mirin? But when people use it, it's kind of nice, right? But unless you know how to use it in cooking...
So we are obviously not chefs.
We are obviously not chefs.
We're totally not qualified to talk about this topic at all.
I tend to use Japanese ingredients, but often in a Western way. I'll have natto toast, for example.
Well, that's what we call fusion.
Fusion.
Right?
So
it's artistic.
We're actually fusion cooks.
Yeah, we're fusion cooks.
Yeah.
Want to be fusion cooks.
So for fusion and ponzu, I would probably imagine you could put it into... you could put it on vegetables, for example. Couldn't you? And a salad dressing.
Right. I also associate ponzu with one of my favorite dishes, which is gyoza, which is technically Chinese food. But when you dip gyoza in ponzu, like I have an orgasm, I'll just come in my pants. And gyoza with ponzu, whoa! It's like way too stimulating for me and my body.
I'll make sure I'm not sitting too close to you at the
don't
gyoza restaurant.
Don't sit too close. Yeah, you gotta sit a couple tables away from me at the gyoza restaurant.
Hope you're wearing a long jacket when you walk out. Or do you stuff tissues down there before you go?
I wear thick jeans. That's my approach. Let's keep it clean, people. Keep it clean.
I shall refrain from my... Now, we're racing through these pretty quickly, but you actually...
Yeah, that's the point.
You're mentioning these flavours, but how does it make you feel when you have these?
Well, I did say orgasm.
This is meant to be an experience.
I did say orgasm. True. The other thing I associate with ponzu is pouring ponzu on daikon radish. Daikon radish, you get this grated daikon radish. It's often served with sashimi. And you pour the ponzu on the daikon radish because daikon radish has almost no flavor whatsoever.
It's one of those neutral things that can be used as kind of a filler.
Yeah, it's like solid. It's like eating water.
It's the default.
If water were a vegetable, it would be daikon radish.
Yeah. And it
You're
can,
just
you can add
eating water.
anything to it. Yeah, it can transform into a sweet or a savoury or whatever.
Right, it'll just take up the flavor of the ponzu, and that's what you're left with, and you're eating solid ponzu, which is heaven. So ponzu, highly recommended. Once again.
Yeah. So is that a flavor or is that a fruit? What yuzu?
I don't know, man. Flavor fruit. Well, yuzu is the fruit. Ponzu is the sauce. And so there's that citrusy flavor that I'm trying to get at that yuzu presents. Yep. I associate it strongly with Japan, and I consider it heavenly.
And yuzu is like a little yellowy, greeny citrus fruit, right?
Right. You would mistake it probably for like a light-colored orange. It's like a lighter orange flavor. Okay. I also see it often dumped into Japanese onsens, the hot springs. You will go to a hot spring sometimes during yuzu season, and they will fill the hot spring with yuzu, and you get that nice, relaxing citrus aroma.
I had a friend who would always take a Mikan into the bath.
Yeah, they do the Mikan sometimes. Yeah, I see yuzu probably more
commonly.
commonly.
And then it heats up in the water, adds the flavour or the aroma to the water, but then you can eat the fruit at the end.
I don't know if I would eat the fruit.
I wouldn't eat a yuzu.
Remember, you're in the bath with like other naked Japanese guys.
I was talking about the home solo bath.
Oh, home solo bath. Okay,
public
sorry.
Bath. Yes.
I was thinking, the public bath fruit. I wouldn't consider that edible.
No, I mean,
but
even those red wine baths.
This could be our personalities showing their differences.
Those super center, they're like huge bathhouses, and they often put flavors into the water. They often have a wine bath, right? You've seen those red wine baths.
Yeah. Once again,
you don't drink it.
A lot of naked strangers around. Probably don't want to drink that or eat it.
That's right.
Yeah. Just you're going for the
skin
the
absorption.
Ambiance.
Yes.
Wasabi, a classic.
Yeah, wasabi is super.
If you don't know wasabi, it's the Japanese version of horseradish. A little spicy.
I don't really know horseradish, even though I'm English. I don't know horseradish.
What the fuck?
Maybe I'm too untraditional.
I actually associate horseradish with British food.
I would just never use the word horseradish. Yeah.
What do the Brits call it?
Well, you have the red radishes, the pinky crimson red radishes.
Okay.
But horseradish is one of those words that doesn't conjure up a particular vision for me. No. So when people say wasabi is a Japanese horseradish, I just accept that.
Poorly educated. I always associated horseradish with British food. And by the way, is Brit a racist term? Can I use that?
I grew up, well, for a lot of my childhood I was in Australia, and we just called each other poms and wogs and spicks, you know, and it was no big deal. It was a term of camaraderie and affection. People are so sensitive these days, aren't they?
So I should just call you the N-word.
Yeah, call me that.
Just
Well, no, because I don't
N-bomb.
fit that. I don't fit that. But if I did, feel free.
Okay, so I can freely use the word Brit.
Yeah, Brit is more of a descriptive. Pom is usually the more racial.
I never even heard that one. Okay,
No.
that's a good tangent. Wasabi, spicy in the way not like pepper spicy, but spicy horseradish spicy. Like it shoots up into your sinuses.
Yeah, it doesn't go down; it goes up.
Right.
It's a very directional flavor, and this is interesting because it's combining flavors and tastes we don't usually think of as directional. You know,
Right.
we think of them as something that sticks here.
And Japanese food is not known to be spicy, but wasabi is the exception. And I often associate wasabi with being mixed with soy sauce, with shoyu. And then you dip your sushi in there, and you get the salt mixed with a little of that kind of spicy, horseradishy undertone there. And yeah, that's heaven.
Yeah, I absolutely love wasabi, and most people I know, they try to go a bit overboard with wasabi when they first get into it. They want to see how much they can take.
Yeah, I have a funny story about wasabi. There was a guy visiting from the UK, a coworker, and he told me this story. He said the first time he went to Japan, he was taken out, and there was a chunk, like a ball of wasabi on there. He didn't know what it was. His first experience with wasabi. And someone encouraged him very meanly, very evilly,
With a straight face.
to just pop the whole thing in his mouth. And he did that. And I think he almost died. No, he didn't almost die, but it was like a near-death experience where his eyes were just watering. And I don't know if he got a bloody nose, but he certainly got a runny nose for quite a long time after that. And it was he had to go through a recovery process to get over that. Wasabi is one of those things better in moderation.
Yeah, yeah.
Be careful with those wasabi.
A similar game that many Japanese people play, and when I've been up with Japanese friends at a sushi restaurant, sometimes this has happened. They'll bring a plate with maybe 10 or 12 pieces of sushi, and one of them is laden with huge amounts of wasabi. You have no idea which one it is. So everybody takes one. Sometimes you do it one at a time, almost like Russian roulette.
That's exactly what they call that.
Yeah.
Russian roulette, sushi, or Russian roulette. I've seen it with takoyaki as well, like a super spicy takoyaki or something like that.
Oh, that's great.
That makes the evening fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
And wasabi, it finds its way into all sorts of other things too. You get wasabi snacks, wasabi potato chips.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good point.
Wasabi salt, which you can sprinkle onto things.
Yeah.
And wasabi ice cream I saw recently as well.
I'm always fascinated how they mix in those flavors, traditional Japanese flavors, into like potato chips. And I saw one recently. It was Pringles. It was wasabi beef.
Yeah.
Wasabi beef Pringles. And I was like, I gotta try it, just for the novelty of it. And it wasn't bad. It had the spicy thing with the wasabi going on. I wouldn't repeat like beef potato chips. I just how are they pulling off the beef flavor with powder? So wasabi powder, okay, I get it, but beef powder,
maybe they grind up
chemically.
cows and
Too chemically, yeah, it's chemically done, obviously. So I won't repeat on that one, but yeah, I like that. It's fascinating how wasabi is thrown into lots of different flavors.
Yeah, sweet things as well.
Yeah,
the
wasabi
ice cream and the wasabi Kit Kats. There was
I think it was frozen yogurt
edition.
I saw too once.
I've seen this, yes.
Yeah. It's funny because it's mistaken often for matcha, green tea flavor.
Green tea. And if you can
You
tell...
don't want to confuse those two.
It's like telling somebody that Marmite is chocolate spread.
Yeah, big difference.
They lay it on thick.
Don't confuse wasabi with the green tea flavor. Shoga. Shoga is ginger. Now, other countries have ginger, of course. The Japanese will pickle it. Pickled ginger usually is what I associate with the word shoga. And also I associate shoga with a really lame old man Japanese joke, which is the expression shoganai.
I use that joke.
Yeah, I do too. We're aging ourselves here.
Yeah.
Shoganai is a Japanese expression that means it can't be helped. And a good joke you can do, well, you can argue the word good. A lame old man joke you can do is at the dinner table, you're sitting down with a bunch of friends, and you say, when there is no shoga on the table, there is no ginger, you say, shoga nai. And people will usually give you what's called a courtesy laugh to that. And hopefully someone giving it to you is someone that you fancy at the table. And you can say, hey!
I'm funny.
You found my joke funny, did you? Let's talk. Let's, you free for coffee?
That was your go-to.
And love blossoms from that lame shogunai joke.
Who would have thought that ginger leads to love?
Who would have thought? The other thing I have to say about shoga, which I discovered on my own, is I used to be a big fan of vodka martinis. I was going through this James Bond phase in my life. I was making vodka martinis after work, and I discovered that instead of the olives...
Redhead James Bond. Interesting.
Yeah. Ginger Bond. And shoga, ginger. I'm kind of a wannabe ginger, though. It's kind of turning brown with my old age. Ginger and vodka. Heaven. Who knew? I
wouldn't have known. But
you take the ginger that comes with your sushi pack.
Yep.
And you mix up a vodka martini. Don't put the olives in. Put the ginger in. It soaks up and blends somehow chemically, unexplainably, with that vodka, and it is heaven.
Releases the flavor into the liquid, and then you eat the shoga at the end, right?
Pickled ginger in vodka. Wow.
Like the agave worm in the mezcal.
Yes. And I always thought if I ever owned a bar, I should kind of do that.
Yeah,
like, hey, look what I
trademark.
did. See what I did there? Yeah. This is like East meets West.
Yeah, fusion.
Yeah, fusion. So
do you only use the pickled shoga for that, or would you use regular shoga, which is just
there's
fresh slice?
Someone who's done their research, which I have not. I never do any research for this. It's all just pure raw improv, because that's what people want to see, right?
Raw improv.
Totally unstudied, totally misinformation stuff. So there's lots of different ways of pickling the shoga, right? I find there's like that white shoga that's very lightly pickled, almost barely pickled, pretty much just raw.
You get in a lot of the sushi restaurants. You have these big pots of that,
right?
And you can help yourself to large portions because it's free,
right?
And so
that's the sushi sashimi shoga, I'd say. I don't think it's really even pickled much at all. Then there's like the pink shoga, which you see with curry, right? And that's more heavily pickled. And that's, again, you can just scoop it in and they put it in the curry, the Japanese curry rice.
Yep.
So that shoga is really good too. I don't know. I would say with vodka, I go with the more raw, unpickled shoga. But they both have the same, that nice punchy ginger flavors. And I think that's really the point of mixing it with vodka.
Right.
I think those two just really balance each other out really well, like coffee and milk. So I'll try that.
And shoga is another ingredient which you can use in a lot of different ways. I mean, I've seen shoga candy. And the Japanese shoga candy, it's like this sugar-encrusted chunks of shoga, and it's really nice.
Right.
It's got a kick as well.
It's got that spicy kick, but then they sweeten it, and it's that nodoame, the throat drop type of candy. Yeah, that stuff's really good. And there's something cooling and calming about shoga, even though it has the punch. I don't know. It's kind of like a breath mint. Like it just sharpens you up. I like that. All right, moving on. One of my personal favorites. I love this one. A dear flavor. Nori.
No.
I mean, a moment of silence for Nori. Nori is blue seaweed, right? I'd say it's more green, dark green. Nori is used all over the place, much like shoga is. You see it all over the place. And it's, like, again, one of those flavors that's very traditional. You wrap the sushi with it, the maki sushi. With Nori, you have Nori on your rice. It's the little bed of Nori covering the rice on the bento.
Yep.
But you also see it in chips. Nori potato chips. Oh my god.
Oh heaven.
Oh my god. Don't get me started. Okay, I started. Nori potato chips plus beer equals heaven. That I'm gonna happily go to the grave. I will be on my deathbed, dying, and I'll still be eating like Nori potato chips and drinking my beer.
The thing about Nori is because it's dry anyway, we could bury you with Nori, and it wouldn't.
I wouldn't actually like that.
Yeah.
You know, like an Egyptian pharaoh was wrapped in
crust
just
wrapped
wrap me
nori.
like makizushi with the nori. You know, like fold me. Fold me up like one of those teimaki sushis.
Yep.
You know, the hand rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, and just that's my deathbed. You can wrap me with nori, and God will feast on my soul.
Nori is not to be confused with other seaweeds because there are a multitude of different seaweeds.
Lots of
in
seaweeds,
Japan.
most of which I'm actually skipping. That I just, for me, they're not bad, but they're not what I consider heavenly. All the different seaweeds. Seaweed is, as seaweed, coming from the sea, from a saltwater environment, it's usually just salty to me. But nori just has this kind of vegetable-y flavor to it. I don't know.
It may be in the preparation because it's rolled very flat, very thin and dry.
Right.
Yeah. There's a South Korean version of nori
Yes.
where they have
And you just
oil
eat it.
and salt on it and you just peel it off in sheets
Right.
and eat the stuff. That
And
is
have you
quite
tried that
strong.
with beer?
No. I haven't.
Okay, that is
I
heaven.
might try
Once
that.
again,
Yeah.
just right. Yeah, I've seen that. It's a Korean nori, and it's almost you just eat it as a potato chip. Like it's
Koreatron.
only nori.
Koreatron.
Koreatron. And it's salted, and you know, salty food plus beer is awesome. You know, peanuts and beer and whatever. But nori and beer, wow. I mean, that is heaven to me.
Now, nori comes in these little snacks as well, which I don't know whether they're fried nori or whether they just put nori in with the corn, wheat, whatever that pulpy stuff that they build snack foods out of.
Right.
Yeah.
Nori is an interesting one too because you can have it like crispy, you know, dry nori. And that's the way I prefer it because it goes really well with beer and that whole salty flavor of it comes out more. When they put nori, like a sheet of nori on steamed rice, it turns mushy. You know, and they often poke it with the chopsticks and they mix it in with the rice. I'm not a big fan of that kind of nori, actually. Like the steamed,
If it's
soggy nori.
If it's surrounding an onigiri, a rice ball, there are the two versions, right? There's the version where it's protected in the wrapper from the rice, so
Right.
it stays crispy.
Right.
And it's amazing packaging. If you haven't seen the packaging, you should do an episode on onigiri.
Right, how it
Yeah.
perfectly
It
opens.
perfectly
right.
opens
And it
you
stays
slide out
crispy.
plastic
I
and it stays
prefer the
crispy.
onigiri like that.
Yeah, but it can sprinkle a little bit. Fortunately, it doesn't stain.
I bite it and it just sort of explodes everywhere. Like the nori flakes go flying
It's a
everywhere.
sigh of pleasure as you're...
That brings me to my other point about nori, though. Rule number one with nori is do not eat it if you're going on a date. Nori is the worst date food ever. Okay, you bite into an onigiri with the dry nori, and it'll just explode everywhere. It'll be on your face. It'll be on your date's face. Your nori on her face, his face, whatever.
It's a bit too early.
Very dangerous. Yeah, you have to be on maybe date 5 or 6 before you're gonna bring that up in your
The dry
relationship.
nori. Stick
Right.
to the soggy nori in the meantime.
However, the soggy nori, also bad on a date. You'll bite into that, and it'll be all over your teeth.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, like black, you know, like the blue and black teeth, like from the nori sticking to your teeth. You're like, "Hey, good night," going for the good night kiss, and you have like some nasty like blue and black, you know, flakes stuck in your
you'd be
teeth.
pulling your tongue
Right.
back. Wouldn't you?
Nori chips, just lots of nori on a date, especially a first date. Don't do it, people. I've been there. Trust me, you don't want to go down that road.
I'll take the advice, David. Thank you very much.
Nori.
Yeah, and seaweed, I think, is again totally versatile. I love mozuku, which I don't know whether you would class.
Mozuku?
It's this thing you get in small plastic tubs, and it's seaweed with some kind of vinegar mixture.
Wow, okay.
And I don't know how Japanese people eat it. I haven't got a fucking clue. But I peel it off and down it like a shot because it's slimy. It's seaweed. It stays in one piece.
Okay.
And it shoots down. It's full of vinegar. So first thing in the morning, it's great to
Right,
boost
right.
the immune system.
Vinegar's good for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
That
excellent.
acidic thing. But is it slimy like natto slimy?
It's slimy. It's more wet.
Okay, so it's not snotty.
Yeah, no, it's
slimy.
more snotty. It's
Ah.
not like, but it isn't snotty in the sense that it's vegetable matter.
Not a fan of that though. The slimy thing, that like mekobu or whatever they call that. You know, like the seaweed that's really slimy.
Yeah.
If you pick it up with chopsticks, does it do that? nasty,
Mozaka doesn't
drippy thing?
because it's too much vinegar. It's a little bit more liquid than that. Yeah,
I'll
so it
check that one
slides
out.
down nice and easy. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like along the Nori theme.
With children, it's really popular because that's the ingredient that gives their lunchboxes characters, right?
True.
If you want to make a panda out of your rice ball,
True.
Nori is the ingredient that you use.
The
to do
artistic side of that, right?
And you get those amazing little templates. They're plastic with little serrated or knife edges. And you lay your sheet of nori in there and you push it down and it cuts out the perfect shape of the eyes and the ears and the mouth.
Excellent
And you
point.
put
Right,
that-
the panda,
the
right,
panda
the
and-
onigiri, and
That's right, all
That's
sorts
true.
of characters.
right,
So I
the
think
artistic side.
yeah,
Like
it's-
Nori's very versatile.
very versatile and artistic as well.
Thank you. You've given Nori more glory.
Yeah.
Shiso.
This is a proper herb, isn't it? This is closest.
Am I right?
The closest.
Shiso, everyone.
The closest to an actual herb, I would say.
Yeah,
out of all Japanese food.
Before I knew what shiso was and the word shiso, I used to just call it the leaf, which I associate strongly with sashimi. It's pretty much the only place I see it. However, shiso, the flavor itself, is used in a variety of other things you can get. For example, shiso salad dressing. I see that a lot. It's just this very herby flavor that I associate strongly with Japanese cooking. And what I love, my idea of heaven, is what you do is you get sashimi, and you're going to get the shiso leaf. It's just this leafy looking thing. And you're going to get the little stack of daikon.
It's a very heart-shaped leaf. It's kind of like
like a
it's
spade.
It's like a spade on a playing card.
Exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
A spade on a playing card. Perfect. And you're going to get sashimi, you're going to get shiso, and you're going to get your daikon. And then either ponzu or shoyu, or both. And I'm always going for the ponzu, because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm a ponzu guy. So you put the shiso down, you then put a little bed of the daikon, you saturate the daikon with the ponzu, and then put the sashimi on top, wrap it up skillfully with your badass chopstick skills, pop that in your mouth. Yeah. And the shiso just, man, it just goes like, hey everybody, I'm shiso. Look at me, I'm gonna fuck this place up. You know, you think it's all about ponzu. Daikon doesn't know what the fuck's going on. It has no flavor. And the shiso just comes in there with an uppercut right at the end. And the sashimi's all cocky, like, I'm the fish, right? I'm badass, right? I'm the fatty tuna. And the shiso right at the end, as you're swallowing it down, the shiso goes, motherfucker! Uppercut that bitch. That's shiso to me, man.
Shiso, really.
Yeah, and I can eat shiso. I used to not be able to do this. I can eat shiso just alone. I can just pop the leaves in my mouth.
That's a sign of
bizarre.
You've reached quite a level
Yes.
to be doing that. You know, next you're going to be like shooting it in the vein.
I'm gonna smoke it. What are you smoking?
I wonder.
Is that marijuana? No, I'm
wonder.
smoking dried
And
shiso.
I wonder if it's possible. Who would?
Next episode, maybe we'll...
In the meantime.
What is this? Is it weed? No, it's shiso,
It's
dude.
shiso. And
Right.
there's the red shiso as well. It's a kind of a
wow.
pinky, purpley colour.
Yeah.
Right? And that has a very different
Edgy.
flavour. It's edgy. It's got a little bit more of a sharp, acidic tang to it, right?
Right. Not a good one.
But shiso, I wouldn't be popping the leaves raw, but I have this fantastic recipe for pasta, very Japanese type pasta sauce. And you get your shiso and you cut it up very, very fine and you shred it up. And you put in shirasu,
Wow.
which are these tiny little fish.
Those little fish.
Those tiny little white fish.
Yeah.
And each spoonful has probably 100 little lives in
Right.
there. So you feel very guilty if
The
you
whole
ever-
body,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, it's just a complete fucking
The
fish.
spinal cord you can see in there.
Everything's in there because I'm semi-transparent, right? And I always feel
Mommy, where am I? Ah! I'm in some asshole's mouth.
But it's along with all his
I'm
mates.
being digested.
Along with all his mates, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
they live together, die together.
You gave him a
Shiso.
proper burial
Shirasu.
with the what?
Yeah.
You gave there's shiso here. That's nice.
Yeah, these poor little shirasu. I mean, I imagine they're just swimming quite happily and then just suddenly they're dead you know.
Right.
So it's quite a nice organic existence, you know. They're not
Right.
farmed in that one, or even if they were, they're so small they wouldn't know they were being farmed.
Yeah,
So
I think they're dead, right? They're not moving still.
well,
right?
when they're alive, they're alive. But my point is, while they're being farmed, I don't think they're unhappy and suffering. Because they're so small, they don't know that they're in a farm situation.
I wouldn't worry about it. I mean,
Perhaps if
you're
we
basically like the
miniaturize-
whale that's going on the plankton. It's like the human
Exactly.
version of plankton.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think, perhaps if we were to miniaturize cows and sheep and pigs, then they wouldn't suffer so much.
I don't want to think about that. It's just,
And
it's
you
just
could,
Shiratsu.
and you could pop them in one
But
morsel.
when you
couldn't
think about each one as alive,
Mm.
like a life, you just think of like one of those like mythological giants that just picks up people and,
Yeah.
and there's like legs sticking out of your mouth and there's like limbs flopping about,
Well,
as you're just
Yeah, I mean, this is why
feasting on
I
Shiratsu.
don't tend to eat meat myself. But
Well,
but the
Shiso,
fact that I'm eating
vegetarian.
fish is a little bit hypocritical in terms of not consuming lives. Yeah.
True, that is still alive.
But I do feel, if they have a pretty much free existence and then suddenly die, it's a lot different. There's
True,
no
that's
cruelty
true.
involved, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a.
Yeah, and I do think the idea of miniaturization would work really well.
But are they babies?
Because you could make beef skewers with lots of little cows on them, right?
True.
It would be very popular, I think.
The whole cow.
And you just need one field. You can let all these little cows run around. They think they're free. They don't feel farmed or abused, right?
Well, it depends on how close we are to them, like on a interpersonal level. That's why we don't generally eat dogs and cats, even though they are smaller.
And are eaten in other countries.
That's true.
Yeah.
Something for another episode, perhaps. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Anyway, to come back, the shiso with shiratsu, with sesame seeds,
Wow.
and of course the number one Japanese ingredient to make any dish Japanese: add mayonnaise.
Like the Japanese
Squeeze in the
mayonnaise.
mayonnaise, mix it all
I'm
up,
gonna check that
and
out.
put that on your pasta, and it is fucking delicious.
Yeah.
And takes next to no time to prepare.
The word I associate with shiso, and man, we've been on shiso a long time. That kind of surprises me.
You thought Nori was going to get the glory.
I
didn't
thought
you?
Nori was gonna get the
Yeah.
glory. I like the rhyme too.
Yeah.
Shiso, I just think of the word refreshing. I don't know, like shiso is just very refreshing to me. It's like a nice shower in the summer.
Yeah, but it's not too punchy. It's like the spearmint of salad.
I like that.
Ingredients.
Spearmint also refreshing,
Yeah,
I would say.
but not
too punchy, not wasabi punchy.
That's right.
And not ginger, not shoga punchy, right? It's toned down a little bit, but still has that refreshing type
Yeah.
of natural herby flavor to it.
Tantakatan. I don't know if you know. Tantakatan. It's this shiso flavored shochu.
Wow.
And it's
That's
got a
a
very
good point about
distinct,
shiso. Yeah.
distinct
I'm glad
shiso
you
flavored
raised
alcohol.
that.
Yeah.
Is shiso is associated with Japanese alcohol. I often see shiso in the bottles of shoyu and shochu and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Shiso and alcohol. I think that's a. I should try shiso in martini next.
Yes.
Vodka.
I chop it up finely so it
Yeah.
distributes nicely.
Yeah, I think shiso would make a kick-ass mojito.
Fucking hell.
If you made because mojito is what, Cuban?
Yep.
And you made like a Japanese mojito and you put shiso in there instead and shoga or something.
Yeah. I saw
I'm
a
gonna
coriander.
Start working on
I
that.
saw a coriander mojito, which didn't quite work because coriander doesn't have the minty punch,
True.
right? But shiso has that little bit of a spice and punch. So I
Yeah.
think it could be on something.
I think you gotta do that. Mikan.
Mikan, that's another fucking fruit.
Yeah, not a fruit. But it is a flavor you will often find, again, in other foods. That's it appears elsewhere.
Yeah.
And Mikan is, I learned this, at first I thought it was a tangerine, actually, the translation of it. But I think it's actually a mandarin orange.
Right.
I think that's actually how you translate Mikan into English.
Well, there are so many citrus fruits in Japan. I don't know if they actually have Western equivalents.
I don't think they do.
I
Right.
found this. I was given this new one a week after 14 years in Japan. Yet another new citrus. This one was called a ponkan. What the fuck's a
Ponkan,
ponkan?
yeah.
Yeah. And
It's like between a pon. Yeah. I think it's the pon of ponzu, actually.
Oh, really? But
Yeah.
the can of Mikan, so maybe it's a hybrid. I think there's perhaps a whole technology and a whole industry of people that are trying to crossbreeding different citrus fruits, and other people who are there trying to come up with new names for the things.
Right. It is a cute name, too. Mikan, actually the word Mikan I think is cute, too. And Mikan I associate with fall and winter. I've heard it's considered a winter fruit, and it's very easy to peel. It's just a little mini orange, and it just peels apart very easily, just by hand. And then the little wedges just break apart, very easy to eat. And I associate this strongly with, you get your Mikans, your bowl of Mikans, and it's cold, you got your winter thing going on, and you get that kotatsu, right? You get the table with the heater underneath and the blanket, you get everyone sitting around there, maybe some alcohol involved, you get the bowl of Mikans, and everyone's just in the winter enjoying the Mikans.
Do you put the Mikans under the kotatsu to heat up?
I do not. I have not had...
Hot Mikan.
Doesn't that ruin the Mikan?
If you eat it quite quickly, I imagine it just heats it up. If you left it under there for a long time, it would shrivel and dry, which wouldn't be so nice.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've always just had the Mikan up on the top. But I associate Mikan strongly with winter. I've seen Mikan flavored potato chips. Yeah, I'm a potato chip whore. I'm a total potato chip whore. Yeah. Any flavor of potato chip in Japan, which there are plenty in this country, I will try every single one. And I've seen Mikan. Of course, there's Mikan ice cream. And I like it. They often put the chunks of Mikan in there. And there's Mikan drinks up the wazoo. And they put the little chunks of Mikan in there. Is it real Mikan or not? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Kids love Mikan.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's really clean. I mean, I'm somebody who never eats oranges because it's just, you fucking get sticky hands.
True.
Yeah.
As a fruit, man, it's clean.
Perfect fruit. It's like
Very
a banana. Easy. The skin peels, you get all of the fruit, and it's clean to throw away.
The thing I like too is the banana, you gotta deal with that little tail thing that you always hate. You gotta break it off. And you got the peel with the banana. Yeah. And then you got that little nipple at the end.
If you sometimes if you squeeze the end just at the right with the right pressure, it slides off the little nipple.
Okay, I want to try that.
Yeah, but other times, the nipple comes off.
But often you have to touch the nipple, and then you get the banana, the goo in your hands. Yeah. Mikan, I think it's even cleaner than a banana. Kids love it, and it's also makes a great gift. At work or whatever, you can give a coworker a Mikan. I love you. Nothing says I love you like a fucking Mikan on the desk.
Yeah, and it's great, isn't it? In Japan, fruit is considered a really appropriate gift.
Oh, food is always.
Imagine in England. Okay, there's this story about you give an apple to the teacher, but that I never experienced that in real life. But giving a Mikan to somebody, it's actually a very appreciated gesture, isn't it?
It's kind of cute too.
Yeah, it's not like giving a banana, strawberry. It doesn't work. But giving a Mikan is special.
I've never given a banana to anyone. I don't know what kind of message that sends.
I know. There's a lot of connotations of bananas that Mikans don't have. Mikan is cute.
Yeah, it's like you give someone a banana and you're like, I would like you to eat the banana in front of me. But a Mikan, I think it's a more appropriate gift. Yeah. When it comes to in the fruit world, I'd say Mikan is probably the most appropriate fruit.
Perhaps it's because Mikan is more feminine fruit. Banana's very masculine, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah. Depends on how you wrap it, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Shall we move on from Mikans?
Let's move on. I'm going to take a piss. So.
Sure. With that, let's pause.
Let's pause.